Welcome to Beyond the Scoreboard, episode 9 with Eric.
And Blake.
We are currently recording on the 10th of May at 2:38 p.m. We are about halfway through the conference semifinals of the NBA, and we're about halfway through the second round of the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs. So, Blake, let's talk about the NHL first. Let's recap ourselves with the first round and what's going on in the second round currently.
Okay. So I'll start in the East. Me and you can do the West. So in the East, in the first round, Florida Panthers won 4-1 against Tampa Bay Lightning. No shock there for me. I mean, Florida went to the Stanley Cup.
Stanley Cup last year.
Yeah, Stanley Cup.
Yeah, very. Again, not much to say, to be honest, because that was a pretty easy series for them, I would think.
Yeah, it was easy for them,
as they were pretty much top of the East this year, as they were only the 8th seed last year, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. But the Panthers look good.
Yeah,
they look good that entire series. They look good in the second round. We'll get to that in a minute. But all right, what's the next game?
Boston and Toronto Maple Leafs. That went to a 7-game series.
Yeah, I'm very surprised that Toronto took them 7. Boston almost blew a 3-1 lead again, and I was very pissed when I was like throwing shit around when Boston won in overtime in Game 7.
Really?
Yeah, because I don't like Boston. I just don't. But regardless, they played fair and square at least. They got the win.
Yep.
And now they are playing Florida, which, again, we'll talk about in a minute. And I'm looking forward to the rest of that series as well.
Yeah.
That the Panthers and Bruins series, the rematch of the first round last year, where Boston ultimately blew a 3-1 and lost to Florida, who eventually went on to play in the Stanley Cup.
Yep.
Now, with that being said, what's the next series?
Let's go with the Rangers.
The Rangers, they look good, man. Early on, they look amazing.
They have won it. If I'm correct, they are the 12th team to win 7 straight games, and 7 of those 12 went all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals and won the whole thing. That's like I don't know when, but it's 1950, I want to say. But the Rangers have been looking very good.
They've been looking very dominant.
They beat the Capitals 4-0. They sweep them.
And I was having a few conversations with some friends that are heavy on hockey, where Washington was like one of those teams that got lucky to be in the playoff. And obviously the series kind of showed the Rangers sweeping them. But because the Capitals were like, there was like 3 or 4 other teams that were like part of this like one game and you're in.
Can I stop you right there? So correcting my the Rangers game 3 win. That's the first 7-0 start playoff in historical 1991.
I remember that. Yeah, that's right. I remember reading up on that. But let's talk about the next series, unfortunately, for the other New York team. The Islanders fall 4-1 to the Carolina Hurricanes. Again, Hurricanes also looked good in that series. There were a few games that could have made the series pretty interesting, but the Islanders blew those games away. I mean, they got lucky in Game 4, but there was Game 1, and I think there was Game 3 as well, where they could have easily won, and then they shot themselves in the foot.
They've been doing it themselves.
The Hurricanes looked good, especially on offense, but now they're struggling as they're down 3-0 currently to the Rangers.
They're really killing themselves because they were, I believe, 0-5 on power plays last night, and they've been on certain goal line situations they can get it. It's always because the Hurricanes have either put down dirty play or they're working with the best of them, and the Rangers capitalize on those weak mentality efforts by the Hurricanes and with them being down 3-0, losing back-to-back overtime games. One was game 2 was OT2, and last night and previous night was OT1 at 1-2, one overtime. And Rangers are just capitalizing on the efforts. They are also playing a very good offense. Power plays they've been doing sufficient on, I would say.
And I tell you what, that Rangers goalie, Shesterkin.
He had 90.
Shesterkin,
He had 90. Igor Shesterkin. He had 99 saves in 2 games, and he's currently, I believe I saw with he's the current MVP. Bless you. He's the current bless you.
Oh, excuse me.
He's one of the leading MVP goals, I think, in the.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. I think last night I think it was last night, or maybe it was the previous game. I think he had like 53 saves, something along those lines, which is just bizarre numbers.
Let me ask you. So, back to Florida and Boston. It's 1-1 right now in the series. But there was a lot of talk with game 1 of Boston versus Florida. And that was, can Florida win? Because they have had a lot of time. They had over a week off. They didn't sweep 4-1, but they had a lot of time off. Now, my question is, and I wouldn't mind, if the Rangers win tomorrow night, and they win 4 and go to Eastern Conference Final, do you like the idea of them sitting for over a week, probably?
Yes. And I'm going to tell you why right now. I feel like, and this goes for most sports, to be completely honest with you, when a team finishes a playoff series earlier than you think, that week is a really rough week.
Okay.
Now, granted, going into practice, going over some play styles, going over some game plans, going over some defensive schemes, offensive schemes, whatever they do in practice, I don't know. That week is going to be the toughest week for some of those players' lives, obviously, because sometimes it's not easy to make it into the playoffs, but they overcome that, and then you will play twice as harder, sometimes even more harder, which is why I believe that having that break can help, but it can hurt too.
Because it can also ruin momentum.
Exactly. That's why I'm saying it's a toss-up.
Okay.
It's legit. It comes down to who wants it more. And again, that week, like that week that Florida had, I don't know. Game 1, they did not look good. They bounced back in game 2.
Yeah, but they looked terrible week 1, game 1, because they got off of a huge break, and they came back and they did not look good. The commentators said about they are not looking like themselves.
What I think is, especially in the NHL, when you're waiting for a week and then you go into game 1, you don't. I don't hear a lot of talk about hockey players watching film. I could be wrong. I could be 100% wrong. Maybe they were watching Game 7. Who knows? But again, you're looking over the play style that the other team has, their defensive schemes, their offensive schemes, their game plan, whatever it could be. So game 1 is probably always the hardest, despite being at home. Because again, you don't know what they are.
Yeah.
And it showed there. They lost game 1 5-1, but then they bounced back and won 6-1 in game 2. I mean, I guess in game 2 they figured it out, or Boston made a few mistakes. Now, keep in mind, Boston was winning in game 2. They were up 1-0, and they allowed 6 straight. So something clicked with the Panthers in that game 2, in the second and third period, that it completely switched the momentum, and now the series shifts into Boston, which again, game 3 can be really tough. You're battling maybe a potential new play style, a new game plan, some new schemes offensively and defensively. Maybe the goalkeeper's thinking of trying something differently. And then you're also battling that with the pressure of the playoffs, and then you're also battling that with the home crowd.
What do you mean goalie? Like
I mean, no, not switch. It could be switching goalies out, or maybe again they're trying a different technique or so, something along those lines to shift with the game plan. But you're also battling the home crowd, the opponent, and then the pressure of the playoffs. It gets huge, that pressure, especially in Game 7. If it were to go to Game 7, which is why I believe that Florida has that switch. They have that switch mechanism to switch the momentum at any time. I think they're going to take this series in 6.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
You want to talk about the West?
Sure. All right, so the first one, the Dallas Stars and the Vegas Golden Knights. Now, this one was a very surprising series. This one went to 7, and Dallas took it out at 7. But I did not expect it. I thought Vegas was going to win in 5, or even a sweep. They looked good. They just couldn't get it done. Dallas looked good too. I don't know much about the West, but I do know that Dallas can cause some havoc, which leads us into our next playoff matchup, or in the first round.
They were the defending champions. Well, the Vegas Golden Knights.
Yes, exactly. So for them to lose in the first round is insane.
All right, what's the next game?
The Colorado Avalanche and the Winnipeg Jets. Now, this was a pretty self-explanatory series. Colorado takes them down in 5. Colorado looks strong. They looked strong early on in that series. They had a really good offense, but their defense really got it done for them as well. As we shift over to that second round matchup there with the Stars and the Avalanche. Now, in Game 1, so Colorado took Game 1, but Dallas was up 3-0. They lost 4-3. They almost did it again yesterday. They were up 4-0. They allowed 3 in the third period, but then it got away from them with an empty net. And they took that 5th goal and the win 5-3. As the series, I believe, switches over to Colorado, if I'm correct. I could be wrong. Early on, looking in that series, it could be pretty good.
Dallas and
Colorado. Yeah.
Well, 1-1.
Yeah, I know that.
Oh, yeah.
But and I've watched a few minutes of some of the games. I haven't watched much of the West either. I've mostly been paying attention to the Rangers.
So Monday Rangers, Tuesday Knicks, Wednesday Rangers.
Well, yeah. knowing that Vegas is out, I think so too. I genuinely think that they could. If they sweep the Hurricanes here, that's huge.
Maybe
I know. Who would you rather the Rangers play? Because to be honest, I don't see them blowing in Rio. I think Boston's going down in 6. Yeah. Well, someone who hates Boston, I almost kind of want to see them move on, and I want to just see them get swept by the Rangers, so I could laugh. But I don't think it's gonna happen. I think Rangers are making the Stanley Cup because they don't really. The only team that would probably be the only team that would probably give them a series is Florida. Out of those two teams there, but I could be wrong.
Boston and Florida, they both have a good match.
Yeah, but I want to see Florida through.
Yeah, I do.
That is so as a whole. What Stanley Cup final series do you want to see? Rangers versus who from the West?
I don't want to see the Avalanche. They were there not that long ago, and I don't like them. I'd rather see Rangers and Dallas.
Rangers and Dallas. Interesting.
Yeah.
I kind of want to see the Oilers, and
yeah, I was thinking that too as well. But
I wanted to see Oilers Rangers here, or Oilers Panthers, if the Rangers can't get it done. That is a wrap for the NHL as we shift our focus over to we're going to refresh ourselves with the NBA playoffs in the first round.
I'll do the East and the West again. Sounds good.
Sure.
Okay. So the Celtics won 4-1 against Miami. They got there.
Without Jimmy Butler, it was tough.
The only game that they won was them doing like the most amount of threes.
They hit 23 threes. That's the only reason
That's
they
the
won.
only reason why they won.
And they didn't even win by much. I think they only won by like 9.
AJ Butler, close to that. Remember that picture last year? AJ Butler, don't make us get one, or don't let us get one. Well, it was Jaylen Brown. So it was a photo from last year when Jaylen Brown don't let us get one or whatever. And then Jimmy Butler put his face over Jaylen Brown and said, "Don't let us get one." After they won that one game,
and then they just didn't win again.
And then the following game, I think it was like game 4 or game 5. Jimmy Butler was saying, he said something like, "Oh, we got this. We're gonna totally win this game." And they got
top 10 moment before disaster. 100%. I do not understand why Butler said that.
Yeah, I mean, he was really in it. And the other thing was that Jimmy Butler had also said, like, if I was in the playoffs, the Celtics would be gone, and the Knicks would be gone. Yeah, you're kidding me. They're terrible. They would both be out if I was still playing. And then Pat Riley said in a interview, he said, if you ain't playing, shut your mouth. He said it. He said,
I don't know why that's kind of funny.
Yeah, Pat Riley told him to shut up, basically.
Yeah, I like that.
But moving
That's good shit from him.
The Cleveland Cavaliers and the Orlando Magic. I think this is what
This was probably the most entertaining series.
Knicks and 76 was probably the most entertaining. I know I'm a Knicks fan, but
I mean, maybe game 1 and 2, but
game 7, Cavs versus Magic was very. I would say game 7, the Cavs won 4-3. Magic were very well. Magic were well organized.
They let it slip though. I watched that game. It was on Greek Easter actually.
I was studying fine. Well, studying.
Go to school, kid. Anyway, so I was watching Game 7 on Greek Easter, and again that first half, Orlando looked good. They were up like 20, and then they let it slip.
Yeah, either went up. They're up double digits. But Donovan Mitchell
I mean, he's so good in the paint. You can't let him go.
He's a
You can't let him heat up in the paint.
He's a playmaker. He'll get passes. He'll bust teammates. No matter
Not to mention Evan Mobley looked good on defense as well.
Yeah.
I mean, he's 7 foot, so I mean, you expect him to get some block.
I hope so.
Yeah.
But
now this was the next series here that you're going to talk about. It was probably the most shocking one to me.
I don't think so. Pacers and Bucks, your Bucks team, they lost 4-2. I'm not shocked.
I'm a Knicks fan now.
Fan why I did. The only thing I have to say about this series is that I definitely think I would have gone differently.
If Giannis was there?
If your team was healthy, your team would have definitely won. I think the Pacers...
I'm just surprised that the Bucks took a game without Lillard or Giannis.
Yeah, exactly. If you have them both not be healthy and you can still win 2 games, that's something. If they were both healthy, you guys could have easily won the series, probably 4-2 or 4-1. No doubt in my mind. But the Pacers, they sort of capitalized on this, and they moved on. And following that,
they looked good from beyond the arc in that series as well.
Yeah, I mean, you have to...
Like, just in general, through those 6 games, they look really good. I think they hit more than 12 in each game. I might be wrong about that. Maybe not game 5, maybe not game 5, but regardless, it was... I'm just surprised that the Bucks JV team took 2 games.
Did you get people not making fun of, but Adrian Wojnarowski put bananas onto the Kubo, torn ACL or something, and there was this guy on TikTok. He's like, "Was I even playing a game? Why are you like recording with us? And the season's over." I don't know. It was Johnson's brother or something like. I mean, I feel bad for the guy, but like I was just watching a TikTok and I just woke up and I had like a small little giggle because it's like.
I think I saw that.
I mean, it's kind of irrelevant. I mean, out of the playoffs, like, why are you like?
Why are you pointing that out?
You don't have to. Why are you pointing that out? Like, I mean, whatever. I mean,
yeah, whatever.
But moving on, the Knicks and the 76ers.
This was a very entertaining series.
I am 4-2.
Yeah, I do think, for me anyway, that the Cavaliers Magic series was a little bit more entertaining purely because it went to 7.
I didn't really
because I love watching Ben Caro.
I didn't watch that series. I would either have the pace of the Bucks game on or the Celtics game, or because that game came on. I always thought. So, anyway, I have to admit, Nick Tim's on great. Have you seen the videos of what they do with the Embiid shirt? You see the guy with his had his sister.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Did you see that little kid putting up his fist? Saying, Embiid, kick these hands. It was like a 10-year-old kid with an afro. It looked like Jack Harlow. And I love the new Knicks are crazy. I would love to go to the Knicks game.
I really want to go to
Imagine Knicks winning the NBA championship. I think New York would actually burn down.
But in excitement, not in anger. They would do it by accident.
If we lost Game 7 because of Raptors...
Oh, yeah, no, it would definitely burn in anger.
I think New York will be gone.
This may be sensitive to the viewers, but never mind. I'll tell you off camera. But what do you think going into Indiana tonight for Game 3? What do you think is going to happen as that series switched over to Indy?
Right. So Knicks up 2-0. I'm going to get my thoughts. So Thibodeau. Tom Thibbs. Yeah, we'll call him
Tom Thibbs. I call him Thibbs. So Thibbs, what do you think about him?
So his play style is very nice.
Yeah.
People are relating this team to the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah.
Rose, Noah, and so the point I'm trying to make is that we don't have a bench. We do not have a good bench. Now, explain.
I know what
if Tibbs is playing
like 3 guys max.
So 40 plus.
Before Mitchell Robinson got hurt, he was playing him, McBride.
Continue.
And who else?
Because of these players playing so long. OG Anunoby's injured for game 3.
He's out?
He's out with a hamstring injury.
Oh my god.
Jalen Brunson is questionable with his toe injury.
He'll be fine, I think.
Mitchell Robinson's out. Julius Randle's out. Like, right there, that's like 5 starters right there. Like, injured or out for the season. And they don't have a bench. Deuce McBride, to have moments. But in game 2, I think, he did his movement, but, like, he wasn't, like, a run or scoring those many points.
Even with Brunson out for the second quarter, he still finished with, 32? Brunson?
McBride?
No, Brunson.
Oh, yeah. No, 29.
I'm saying
29.
the Knicks' offense relies a lot on Brunson.
I know, but my point is that OG Anunoby was a huge part of that game. He had, like, 22 points.
Well, yeah, without Brunson, he was there.
But now he's not there. And
Are you sure he's out?
He is out, yeah. They confirm OG Anunoby is out for game 3 of the playoffs. But my point is that they don't have a bench. They're playing these guys for so long. And Draymond Green has a point. It's not much of a fluke, but it's gonna happen. They're gonna lose. They're gonna dismantle because if this was like the NBA finals in the upper I'd be like, yeah, no, they can push out for 2 more 40-minute games and sleep. But the simple fact of the matter is, we're only in the second round of the playoffs. They still have a total, and with sweeping, they have a total of 8 more games left, or 10 games. That's a lot of 40-minute games to them. I don't think they can. It would be historical to see this team with how many limited players to go all the way to win the NBA Finals. And look, let's be honest. Mavericks have a better bench. Boston has a better bench. Timberwolves have a better bench. Nuggets, and not so much. The Pacers have a better bench. It's going to come down eventually to backup players, special teams, special plays, special players. And it's going to happen. I know we're enjoying this now. We're meant to be realistic. They are going to lose a game because of injuries, tiredness, and maybe, yes, you're being consistent by being out there so long. Like, how long does that last? We have to be realistic about it.
Look, I said this before game 2 even started. I think regardless, Indy's going to take game 3. Because again, you got to talk about the momentum switch in switching venue.
They can win because the thing is, if you look at the past 2 games on you, well, let's be honest, there's been a lot. Not the head coach of to 70 calls. That's a crazy amount. There's been some calls. Don't get it. But if I'm a patient, I know I'm down 2-0. I know I'm so angry about that. But both games have been close. They have to just clean up a little bit better on defense in both quarters. They're right there. They are right there. Their bench points, they outscored the bench points tremendously. They had more offensive rebounds. Knicks are number 1 in the
Well, yeah, but the thing is, again, sorry to interrupt you, but with the bench of both teams, is really, you can't really make that argument because, again, Bibbs, before Mitchell Robinson was out, he was off the bench. He was playing Mitchell Robinson, Deuce McBride, and sometimes Precious. He wasn't playing anybody else. He only had 3 bench players there, where compared to Indy, I think it's double that. Because Carlisle relies a lot on the bench. But
well, that's good.
I'm not saying that's a bad thing. But you can't really make that argument with more players. If I'm being completely honest with you.
Okay, but if we look back at the 2 games, they have been outscoring not only their bank, but they're able to. I know it hasn't affected them now, but it will certainly with later games, game 3 and game 1, maybe game 5, 7. But rest is key when you're in the middle of the game. If Halliburton needs to sit for 2 minutes, they know they can rely on a backup. But the Knicks, it's like, maybe. Like, they have bank. They outscored them like 30 plus points or something. That's crazy.
It is.
So bank does really have a big factor. Because I don't want it ever to happen when it comes to injuries. But injuries is there's a higher risk of a Knicks starter getting injured. Like Josh Swan, I don't want him to get injured. What do you think? Over 40+ minutes a game.
He's not even sitting.
You know how much toll that has on their body? And especially how aggressive he is when it comes to offensive rebound. Like, you need him to be full, like, 100% with him having rest. Because one bad, well, I never want it to happen, but one bad, twist, like, it can
Done.
move. So, it's so...
I get what you're saying.
It's so scary to the Knicks up. It's great. You don't be like, up, well, they got this. But, like, we have to be realistic. Like, they have no bench.
Well, that's what they said. I remember when the year that the Raptors won the final. They were down 2-0 to the Bucks. Look what happened. They switched the momentum completely and won 4 straight. 2-0 series leads are scary. No. Like, look at what happened in Cleveland and the Magic series.
Wasn't that like 1-1?
Cleveland was up 2-0.
Oh, they what?
Yes. They won both games in Cleveland. Orlando won games 3 and 4 in Orlando. 3-2. And then they forced game 7. So again, it's you gotta be able to perform on the road.
Yeah.
That's another big thing, which is why I think that at least I think Knicks are gonna drop game 3, regardless. I think again with the switching of the momentum on the road.
I had Knicks
not being used to have that home crowd fuel you.
I had Knicks losing game 2.
And then again, like I was talking about with the NHL, the pressure of the playoffs, it gets to you. It gets to a lot of the players, which is why I think Indy's going to take game 3, regardless. I don't know if they're going to win any more games in the series, whatever. I think they're taking game 3.
I think so too. I think Indy will take game 3, but I think the Knicks are going to go up 3-1 and then bring it back to New York. I think they'll win it and win the series 4-1. But they will definitely go 1. I'd rather see them lose game 3, win game 4, and bring it back to New York.
Yeah.
But moving on to the
West. So with the first series there, the Thunder and the Pelicans. Now, I mentioned this, I think, in the last episode we recorded, or maybe one before that. I wanted Sacramento in there. They lost to the Pelicans. The Thunder swept New Orleans, which, I mean, I love to see. Not much to talk about for this series here.
This was
because again, this was a sweep.
OKC is one of the youngest teams. They really didn't have a job. They're not that much better. They do have veterans, but like they're one of the youngest. But, it's very, very hard for that.
Yeah, 100%.
Well done for that.
As we shift to the next series, Clippers and Mavericks. I'm not going to say that this was surprising, but in technicality, it is an upset. The 4 and 5 seeds. I always count that as an upset, regardless if I think the team is better.
The Clippers, dude, the only reason why they're called about
because of Kawhi and PG.
They're trying to build a super team. It's not working, dude. Super teams have not worked. Like, let's be honest. When was the last time there was a super team that won? 2017. Golden State. Ever since then, these power teams, whatever, Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant.
Which we'll get to that in a second. This next series. Don't interrupt me.
Kyrie, Kevin Durant, James Harden, gone. Damn. Twisting of the foot.
Well, yeah. Yeah. Well, anyway. Mavericks took down the Clippers in 6, which I was rooting for Dallas. Luka looked good in the series.
Oh. Yeah, he did. Did you know he's top 500 in Overwatch?
Yeah, I know. I saw a TikTok about that where he was in a voice chat with some random dude.
The dude asked, "Can I get your autograph?"
No. The dude was like, "Wait, you sound just like him," and he was like, "I know, I'm him."
And then he said, "Can I get your autograph?" And then he said, "Silent."
I remember that video, dude. It's so funny.
Yeah, I'm almost there.
So let's just talk about it really quick. Thunder and the Mavericks series. As it's currently 1-1.
So last night they did a
very good job on defense. They didn't really shut down SGA, but I think they shut down everybody else. How do you think that series is going to shift as it goes into Dallas now?
I think it's going to be a 1-1.
You think so too? Yeah, I agree. I think it's gonna be.
Take game 3.
I say Dallas takes game 3 purely for again what I've been talking about.
And then you
I think Thunder will figure it out and take game 4, and then I don't know the rest of the series. This might be besides the next series. This is the most entertaining one.
Dude, I have to get to it. Talk about the Timberwolves.
Oh yeah,
4-0 sweep on the
4-0 sweep on KD, Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, Nurkic. That's nuts.
Bobo, Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah, Bobo. Anyway, as the Timberwolves, I mean, they're on a whole new level right now.
Dude.
Which we'll get to that.
We'll
get to the West semis in a second, but they swept Phoenix, which is insane. Which, again, let's talk about the last series of the first round, and then we'll switch over. The Nuggets and Lakers. Now, Denver was up 3-0, and obviously Lakers forced game 4, and they could have, or forced game 5.
I'm sorry to interrupt. They've been up almost every single game. They are terrible in the final minute. They lost 2 games by less than a minute left in the game. This could have easily went to a game 7. This
could have easily been a Lakers win. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, exactly.
Even with that game 2, the buzzer beater,
Lakers,
as they were down 20, they were up 21, and then they blew it.
The Lakers had it in the palm of their hand. Maybe not the palm of their hand, but
they had it.
It looked a lot easier this year than last year in the
they definitely
conference
had it.
finals.
But anyway, as we shift over
to
obviously the conference semis, let's refresh ourselves. Let's go back up really quickly to the Celtics and Cavaliers series.
Oh, I just said that series. Right now it's 1-1, and the Cavs, they just shot a lot of threes that game. Game 2.
Again, but what do you think is going to happen in the series?
I think it's going to go back to Cleveland, so I would say it's going to be probably 2-0 Boston. I think Boston's going to be up 3-1, and I think Cleveland is going to take a game. I think there's going to be a game 6, but Boston's going to take a game.
So you think Celtics and 6? Okay. And, okay. All right. I think it's going to go to 7.
Yeah, you would think it's going to go to 7.
No. I purely think if Donovan Mitchell can do what he did in Game 2, I think it's going to 7.
Who's going to win?
Celtics. But I'm saying I think it's going to go to a Game 7.
Well, we kind of discussed that already.
We did. We kind of like stretched out. We talked about it for a little bit. We kind of want them to sweep, but
Timberwolves Nuggets. The Minnesota Timberwolves 2-0.
Up 2-0 on the Nuggets, which
that's
again,
crazy.
Especially since Jokic was just named MVP for the third time in 4 seasons.
Do you know the last MVP in the past 30 years to be swept in the playoffs? Who was the?
I don't know.
Maybe not. Maybe have been swept or lost in the playoffs in the past 30. Yeah, probably get swept.
I don't remember.
Nikola Jokic back in the bubble against the Lakers. He was MVP that year and they got swept 4-0.
Oh yeah, that's right. I completely forgot about that, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But so as this,
I'm sorry to interrupt, but Game 2, Mike Malone should have been ejected. Boban halfway across the court to talk to the ref.
I didn't really watch the game.
Jamal Murray threw not icy hot, but packed by one of the refs.
Yeah, you got to see. I saw something. I'm pretty sure it was bullshit, but I thought it was like some tweet. Bullshit, 100% that he was suspended for 30 and 4, but he's not.
$100,000 fine. But
$100K for that?
Yeah.
I think that's a little bit harsh.
No. Now I'm gonna be down here. I will admit there have been fouls that should have been called, but
no, I think a $100K fine is a little harsh.
No, I don't think so. You could have injured some guy. What if someone stepped
with a fucking towel?
It wasn't a towel. It was like a.
They say it was a towel, and he threw it at the direction of a ref.
It was a cheating. Like a small
game. Whoop, $100K. That's harsh.
What if? Okay, but you have to What are you gonna do? Not fine him?
No, obviously not.
But
But $100K?
Eric, someone can get badly injured by that.
You do realize that the NBA will literally wipe their ass with that $100K, right?
He could have easily been suspended.
I would have taken the suspension.
You can't take a fine on paid suspension time.
But I'm just okay. Whatever. Fine. 100K is. I think it wasn't harsh enough. I think you should have been fined his entire salary for the year. But
the whole team should have been suspended.
All right, hold on. Let's talk about it. As Timberwolves swept in Denver for game 1 and 2, and now that series switches over to Minnesota. Do you think they're gonna sweep?
Yeah,
I think so too. They look good, man.
And they have Rudy Gobert in game 2, which is crazy.
That's even more insane.
Congrats to him.
Oh yeah, and he also won DPOY.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he did. Did Nas Reed win the 6th man, or was that Bobby Boy?
Nas Reed won 6th man, and then Tyrese Maxey won MIP. Most improved. And the final series to talk about, I think we mentioned it a little bit, but let's just refresh ourselves. Thunder Mavericks. How do you think that series is going to go?
We already said we're going to do 1-1 slam in Dallas. And then we said we don't know what's going to happen after that, but we think it's going to be a 2-2 split going back to OKC.
I think this is going to go to a Game 7. I think Thunder sticks it in 7.
I think the only Game 7 I think that would be
out of the 4 series here, I think that's the only series I see going to 7. Obviously, I did say that Celtics in 7, but I don't think it's going to happen.
That case, Game
7. Well, that Pacers next series has a lot of history behind it. Yeah.
But moving on though. So about some football.
Sure, let's do it.
Giants, Jets, multiple teams made him started for the game. Let me ask you. What are the biggest games you're looking forward to? And what game?
Biggest game? Interesting.
How about I'll let you think about it and I'll say mine.
I might need to refresh myself with that because I don't think the official schedule's out yet.
The schedule's not out, but they do have the games on who they're playing. They just don't know the time, dates, when, what, but they do know who they're playing.
I don't want to be biased because I don't want to say any Steelers games. I'm going to try not to say.
I'm saying Giants.
I'm going to try my best to not talk about Steelers games.
I'm going to name.
Okay, go for it.
Chiefs versus Bengals.
Okay.
Giants and Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
Houston Texans versus the Dallas Cowboys.
That's an interesting game. I think Texans will win that game.
Or Bills versus Houston Texans.
Okay. I'm trying to think without trying to say too many Steelers games because obviously.
Yeah, you can do that.
I know the Steelers play Philly.
Name at least 2 games for me. Name 2 games that don't involve the Steelers.
I might copy you because I don't know any other schedules besides the Steelers schedule.
You can say Bills and Chiefs.
They're playing?
Probably.
Bills Chiefs, I guess.
You don't know.
I know the Steelers play Philly, and I know they also play the Chiefs too.
Kenny Pickett and stuff. Yeah, that could be fun.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna say that.
Bank Rider.
I'm gonna say that. The Pennsylvania series, and a third game.
I hope to get one sack.
No, Saquon's gonna run for 257 and 5 touchdowns.
Of course, when he's on the Giants.
He won't. He barely breaks 100.
The Steelers suck. The Giants got Allen Robinson, by the way.
Yeah, I know that. Allen Robinson wasn't going to play. If you really think about it.
What neighbors?
Probably, to be honest, probably Dolphins, Bills. So I feel like that game would be more interesting now, with all of the heavy load that the Bills had, and now they don't have it.
I'm gonna say a game that you should have done.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it.
Well, today Caleb Williams got his name. I know we're gonna have Dave Piercy now.
Well, yeah. Who else were they gonna name the starter? Tyson Bagent. He's a dog shit quarterback. Whatever. Regardless, I think I would be better. I would definitely be better than Nathan Peterman. I would be better than Daniel Jones. Anyway, let's. I'm trying to think. Really. We lost profit from him. We still made the playoffs, so. Anyway, the Steelers haven't had a top 5 pick since they picked Terry Bradshaw. When was the last time the Giants had a top 5 pick? Daniel Jones. Yeah. As we switch over to, I guess we could talk about baseball because we have a little bit of time.
Yankees.
The Yankees, yeah, they've been on and off. They looked good in the past series when they played the Astros. They did lose yesterday though. So stupid, but I can't believe they dropped the game to the Astros. Man. Astros are dog shit right now.
Yeah.
But I think it's either a 3-game or a 4-game against Tampa. It's a 4-game.
I'm just guessing. I thought to do that.
All right. Well, as the season has gone forward, how do you think it's gonna finish for the Yankees? 100+ games left. Yeah. But, well, okay. Well, way too early prediction. Do you think the Yankees are making the playoffs?
Not way too early. Way too early prediction.
All right. Well, do you think they're making the playoffs? Just straight up, yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay. And that's it. That's all we needed to know.
It's more like way too early. That's like, oh, I wonder who's gonna win the Stanley Cup next year. Irrelevant.
Give me the Devils.
Give me the Islanders. Yeah.
Should we wrap it up?
Yeah.
We can wrap it up. Thank you for watching episode 9 of Beyond the Scoreboard with Eric.
Can't wait.
And take care.